Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. According to the AG's office and Attorney Watlington of VI elections, three voters attempted to vote twice in the general election. They casted early voting ballots prior to November 8th general election, and those three voters attempted to cast provisional ballots at the polling places on election day. However, poll workers determined they had already casted ballots and prevented them from double voting. This comes from the AG again and Watlington, and they're investigating whether these three face prosecution for attempting or if it only involves those who successfully attempted to double vote. Meanwhile, Senate candidates and the public Senate candidate Janelle Saru concedes to Dwayne DeGraff, whose lead continues to grow as remaining absentee ballots are counted. Justin Harrigan still has a chance of winning the 7th seat, and Count 2 will keep you updated. The St. Croix District Board of Elections will be meeting on Thursday, November 17th to begin counting the 2016 general election walk-in, mail-in, and provisional ballots at the St. Croix office of the election system in Sunny Isles at 10 a.m. Chairwoman Liliana Bilardo de O'Neill is inviting the media, candidates, and the public to view the process. She said space is limited. Also, the St. Thomas-St. John District Board of Elections continue their process of counting absentee and provisional ballots in the election system conference room. That's on Wednesday, November 16th, 6 p.m. Provisional on November 19th at 6 p.m. and last absentee November 22nd at 6 p.m. Certification of general election. The deadline for returning absentee ballots is November 18th. The St. Thomas Democratic District Committee, they opened their new headquarters last night to a full house. They met Delegate Stacy Plaskett, the St. Thomas District 5 Senators, Senator-elect Kevin Rodriguez, Senator-elect at-large Brian Smith, Vice State Chairman Glenn Smith, National Committeeman Tito Morales, and all other executive members were all in attendance and made that possible. United States Virgin Islands Department of Tourism, they recently executed an impactful in-market mission to the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia DMV area in order to spur travel from this important mid-Atlantic market. Commissioner of Tourism Beverly Nicholson Doty reported that the DMV region, which attracted more than 70,000 stayover visitors last year, is a strategic market for the U.S. Virgin Islands, due in part to United Airlines' increased service to the VI out of Washington Dulles International Airport. We will have more from that in Wednesday's newscast. Well, November is Tourism Month in the BVI, so our neighbors, Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Orlando Smith, said they joined the rest of the Caribbean region in recognizing November as Caribbean Tourism Month and taking the opportunity to highlight the tourism offerings and the contributions of tourism to the livelihood of our people, he says, and the sustainable development of the destination. Statistics from the Central Statistics Office in the BVI show that at the end of August this year, they welcomed a total of 781,000, up to 71% from the same period in 2015, including 465,000 cruise visitors, an increase of 7.9%, 301,000 overnight, an increase of 3.6%, and 12,700 day trippers, an increase of 52.1%. Plus, Virgin Gorda was named the best island in the Caribbean. Bermuda and the Bahamas in Travel Leisure's annual World's Best Awards. The BVI was also named the #1 best place to visit in the Caribbean by U.S. News and World Report. Additionally, the British Virgin Islands ranked number 18 on the list of best islands in the world as part of the 2016 Condé Nast Traveler. Well, we had some visitors over here as well. Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas made its inaugural call on Tuesday at the Crown Bay Dock on St. Thomas. It's the newest addition to Royal Caribbean's award-winning Oasis-class fleet and the world's biggest ship. The ship can hold up to 6,000 passengers. A welcome ceremony right there was held on board where plaques, gifts, the VI flag, and Cruisian rum was handed to the captain just to say welcome to the VI, and then a brief tour. Now presenting was VI Port Authority's Executive Director Carlton Dow with Kelvin Industrious, the manager of the Virgin Islands Port Authority. Also, several Port Authority board members and reps were recognized and in attendance. Joyce Grivendor, the Assistant Commissioner of Tourism, Angela Payne, the Director of Cruise Experience, Elizabeth Newton, Lieutenant Commander of the U.S. Coast Guard. Diony Lalane, President of St. Thomas Taxi Association, hears more from that presentation.
So here we are, back in my hometown again. Yes, definitely. If we didn't have this meeting, and it's an honor, of course, for me as a captain and for us to show you the ship, this beautiful, magnificent ship. I have my Harley Davidson down on deck number 2. It has a Virgin Island license plate, and it's insured on the island, and I can go ashore here in St. Thomas, and I just I'm bad for the taxi industry here. I bring my own transportation.
I just want to say that we really appreciate your business. We understand exactly how critical and what your industry means to the territory first, and the Port Authority second.
Well, as we reported on Tuesday, the hospital ground redesign charrette, they begin on Wednesday. The public is encouraged to assist in planning improvements. The community is invited to share their ideas, suggestions, and concerns as plans are laid to improve one of St. Thomas's most historic neighborhoods. Discussions will begin at 9 a.m. again Wednesday, November 16th, following brief remarks from Governor Kenneth Mapp. Here's more.
The design workshops will be held at the Strive Center in the Department of Human Services complex behind Lionel Roberts Stadium. All sessions are open to the public, and a light lunch will be served to participants. The schedule calls for a tour of the area following the governor's remarks on Wednesday, returning to the Strive Center for the first of 3 design sessions at 1 p.m. The day's progress will be reviewed at between 6 and 7:30 p.m. for those unable to participate during regular working hours. Design workshops continue on Thursday from 9 a.m. to noon, and in the afternoon, a session will run from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
The recent announcement that federal funding for the downtown revitalization project's suspension has many concerned. The U.S. Transportation Department said the contractor for the $8.5 million Main Street project in Charlotte-Amalie may be in default because of an unacceptable payment and performance bond. This may constitute a breach of contract and puts the contractor in default, according to a letter sent by the Federal Highway Administration to Public Works Commissioner Gustav James and Property and Procurement Commissioner Randolph Bennett. Senator Myron Jackson also expressed concerns. Also, Senator Jean Ford has written to Public Works Commissioner James to request information and an explanation. Senator Jeanette Millen-Young scheduled a committee meeting to take place on Tuesday, and Millen-Young said there have been too many interruptions, causing our downtown to look unsightly, negatively impacting our businesses in the area. She says if tourism is our most important revenue-generating product, and downtown Charlotte-Amalie has earned the reputation as the key to this product for St. Thomas, then it only makes sense that we do all that we can to protect this revenue source. Count on 2 to keep you updated. Well, President-elect Donald Trump's team is holed up inside Trump's tower, choosing his staff and cabinet. This as President Obama travels overseas to explain Donald Trump to America's allies. It's Obama's last major trip as president, and President-elect Trump is very much on the agenda. Scott McLean explains from Washington.
President Obama touched down in Athens today for the first leg of his last major foreign trip. Obama spoke with the Greek Prime Minister about the economy, the refugee crisis, and his successor.
You've seen some of the rhetoric among Republican elected officials. President-elect Trump tapped into that particular strain within the Republican Party and then was able to broaden that enough and get enough votes to win the election.
The last time he was abroad, Obama called Trump unqualified and assured foreign leaders he would not win. Today, he's assuring them things will be okay.
The future of humanity and the future of the world is going to be defined by what we have in common, as opposed to those things that separate us.
America's post-Obama direction will be determined in part by the decisions being made inside Trump Tower today, a process led by VP-elect Mike Pence. Sources say former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is a leading contender for Secretary of State, along with former UN Ambassador John Bolton.
John would be a very good choice.
Is there anybody better?
Maybe me, I don't know.
Under Trump, maintaining foreign relationships will be important. According to a leaked transition memo, Trump's first 200 days would see the U.S. reverse decades of a conciliatory trade policy. That means renegotiating NAFTA and killing the Trans-Pacific trade deal, a new approach to foreign affairs that's tough even for Obama to sugarcoat. In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
Meanwhile, someone assaulted a speaker at an anti-Trump rally last night at Ohio State University. Take a look there as someone comes down the stairs and tackles the man holding the megaphone. The attacker was quickly taken away by campus police. The video was captured by the university's student newspaper, The Lantern. Now, this rally is one of many across the nation as people who did not vote for Donald Trump voiced their displeasure that he was elected. Ohio State University released a statement to students last week saying it actively protects First Amendment rights. But the school also expressed concern about verbal assaults on campus following the presidential election. Keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. Taking a look at the numbers there, we can see everything is up. The Dow, 16, NASDAQ, 2, S&P 500 up 16. Coming up on News 2, a crime report as police arrest a man for rape. That is coming up next. Plus, the moon put on a show that hasn't been seen since 1948. Stargazers prepared to see that moon like it hasn't been seen in nearly 70 years. That's coming up next. Great view of the supermoon taken right here on St. Thomas. We'll have a little bit more about that later on in the newscast. Well, on Monday, November 14th at approximately 1:10 p.m., 911 emergency call center received a call of a rape in the Mutual Homes housing community in Estate Grove Place. Here's more from VIPD.
Officers at the scene made contact with the victim. The victim stated that she had a social gathering at her apartment with several friends. She then stated that after the gathering, she went to the bedroom to take a nap, and unexpectedly, this individual was on top of her and raped her, as she repeatedly told the individual to stop. While the officers was on the scene, the suspect then returned and was immediately arrested. 35-year-old David Diaz was arrested and charged for rape in the first degree. He was remanded to the Golden Grove Detention Facility pending his advice of rights hearing. The victim was transported to the Wong F. Louis Hospital for medical treatment.
Well, as we reported earlier, the 2016 Emerging Leaders Training Series was delivered in Puerto Rico with 2 individuals from the USVI. This specific training series was facilitated by the U.S. Small Business Administration, U.S. SBA, Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands office. Nerix LLC, a St. Croix-based business, was one of the 17 companies. Mr. Leon Hughes is the founder and CEO. According to the U.S. SBA PR and VI office, Saul Strain of ABC Sales and Services Inc. on St. Thomas USVI also participated in the training program series. Congratulations to everyone. Charlotte Kimmelman Cancer Institute, they hosted the 5th annual Cancer Survivors Appreciation Day today. The Survivors Appreciation Day was held to recognize the cancer survivors in our community, to raise awareness of the challenges these survivors face, and most importantly, to celebrate life. Services were provided to cancer survivors such as manicures, pedicures, therapeutic massages, facials, haircuts, and styling for men and women, as well as professional makeovers. Here's more.
I take joy in seeing the faces on the cancer survivors. They are happy. You know, you see that people care about them. And, you know, they look, when they get their hair styled and they come out, they're smiling. It's not a day where they come for treatment and they're going home either looking sad or maybe feeling bad or whatever. And so that really makes me feel very fulfilled.
And we will have more on Wednesday's newscast. Former graduates of the Juan Louis Hospital Medical Center's Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, their families, supporters, and Juan F. Louis staffers paraded from Wendy's to the hospital on Sunday to mark the start of Prematurity Awareness Week. The month of November is nationally recognized as Prematurity Awareness Month. November 17th, however, is World Prematurity Day. And Wanef Louis has a number of activities to mark the observation. On Thursday, they're including some tours of the NICU and a purple photo fundraiser. Wanef Louis will also join many prominent buildings and landmarks that will be lit in purple on World Prematurity Day to symbolize hope for a healthy start for more babies worldwide. Again, that's 6 p.m. on Thursday. Only 3 months into inception in the Juanita Gardin Elementary School's Early Act Club was officially chartered on November 3rd in the presence of Rotary District Governor for the Caribbean 7020, Mr. Haresh Ramchandani, who was visiting from Jamaica. Following Rotary Club's parliamentary procedures, Gardin's Early Act President Kivante Hughes, a 6th grader, officiated the charter meeting for the 34 members of the club. Other officers are 5th grader Jose Torres, Vice President, 6th grader Litzania Gomez, Secretary and 5th grader Nashali Hamilton, the Treasurer. Principal Barbara McGregor and Assistant Principal Anna Marie Gordon witnessed the ceremony. The Rotary Club of St. Croix, as the sponsor of the school's Early Act Club, participated in the charter ceremony. Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority's crews, they have begun tree trimming and street light repairs on the island of St. Thomas, with work expected to continue through December. Repairs will be completed in sectors. No power interruptions are anticipated as a result of these street light repairs. While every effort will be made to maintain these schedules, it should be noted that weather events or other unanticipated circumstances may necessitate schedule revisions. Repairs kicked off on November 7th. VI Waste Management Authority advises St. Thomas residents of that break at the Adelita Cancrine Pump Station Force main wastewater line. The break was discovered early on Saturday, November 12th, in front of the station located near the Banco Popular main branch in Altona. The authority's staff took immediate action to cease the discharge of wastewater onto the adjacent highway by shutting down the Cancrine Pump Station. The authority has mobilized a contractor to excavate and perform repairs to the ruptured 24-inch force main pipeline, which is downstream of the pump station. Upon completion of the repairs, the pump station and its sewer collection system will be returned to service. Also, VI Waste Management Authority advises St. John residents of limited collection services at the Susannaburg transfer station. On Monday, no municipal waste was accepted at the facility. Only green waste, scrap metal, and bulk waste was accepted. The limited service experienced on Monday was the result of a backlog of municipal solid waste due to a damaged roll of bin used for transporting waste to St. Thomas. The authority will be transporting additional bins from St. Thomas to St. John to restore services as soon as possible. Residents are asked to use existing roadside bins for disposal of municipal wastes. And to minimize waste as much as possible, the authority expects to resume full service at the Susannaburg transfer station by Wednesday afternoon. And finally, the moon put on a show that hasn't been seen since 1948. Stargazers prepared to see the moon like it hasn't been seen in nearly 70 years. The phenomenon, called the supermoon, occurs when the moon becomes full on the same day its orbit is closest to the Earth. It results in a large and bright moon, and it is super rare, as in hasn't been this big and bright since 1948 and won't be again. Officials say until the year 2034. Many posted pics from all over the globe, including Facebook. The shots you're looking at were taken right here on St. Thomas near Bolongo Bay Beach Resort. The closer shot right there that you're looking at right now was taken from a telescope. Thanks to Beth Newton for those images. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
We've seen a couple of isolated showers here and there across the area, but our biggest weather maker from last week, that cold front that really just stalled out over the Virgin Islands, has really begun to dissipate. We've still kept a lot of moisture in the area. Now, over the next few days, we'll continue to see a couple of spotty showers, but our next cold front shifting off of the southeast U.S. overnight tonight will make its way towards us for Thursday p.m. So we'll see an uptick in moisture, still seeing some spotty showers as we are seeing currently on the radar. Maybe a couple of heavier downpours as well, a rumble of thunder here and there. Now throughout tonight, we'll maintain partly cloudy conditions. Can't rule out those spotty showers with all the moisture hanging around. That's going to continue into tomorrow as well. We're looking at temperatures to remain in the upper 80s across the board from St. John's into St. Thomas as well. Scattered showers throughout the day and down into St. Croix. Mostly sunny down there as they will have less of a chance of those showers. Out on the water, we're looking at our waves 2 to 4 feet. Winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots. Not too bad for the Atlantic. And the Caribbean really pretty much mirroring the Atlantic for our waves. Now take a look at your extended 5-day forecast. Over the next few days, that front will approach Thursday p.m. and come Friday. That means that we'll have an uptick in moisture. We'll see some more frequent showers moving in towards Thursday and Friday, the beginning of your weekend. And as we head towards the beginning of the weekend as well, a big area of low pressure just off, kind of hidden and tucked away by Central America. It's going to shift out in towards the Caribbean, and that's going to be bringing some heavier moisture as well as some showers for your Saturday and into Sunday and even into Monday. Back to you, Sandy.
Thanks for that. Well, time for our news weather picture there, and we see lots of sunshine. Cinia Gilbert of Ricardo Richards Elementary School is so ready to hit the beach this weekend, get outdoors and enjoy the sun, build some sandcastles. Cinia, thank you for that. Send us your News 2 weather picture to the address right there on the screen. News 2, Innovative Business Center, 4611 Tutu Park, Suite 300, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, 00802. And that is all for this edition. We'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Have a wonderful evening.